Yo, what up, everybody? This is your boy Fitzmonk TV here, aka G-Lorne33. I want to welcome you guys back to the Legit Shoot podcast here with your Smackdown live review and results for January 17, 2019. Thank you guys for joining me right back here on the channel here tonight. I hope you guys had a great week. Hope you guys had a great Friday. We're talking about SmackDown Live, and we are just 9 days away from the first pay-per-view of 2020, the first pay-per-view of the decade, the Royal Rumble. And I'm going to be honest, SmackDown did a decent job tonight of building towards the Rumble. You know, tonight's show wasn't all that bad. There were some good things. Of course, there were some negatives. You know, WWE's never made a perfect show. The closest thing to that was when they had the NXT Invasion late last year. But SmackDown Live tonight was not a bad show. I'm not gonna lie. There was some good in-ring action, some good build towards the Rumble, some continuation of storylines, and we're gonna talk about all that right here on the podcast here today. All right, a couple quick nuggets before we get into anything. For scheduling purposes, I have a lot of things going on. I just got back to school, and I'm trying to focus on that because I do, graduate in a year. But doing my best to continue giving you guys daily uploads and all that. We have a lot going on the channel. If you guys have not been paying attention, we have Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. I've been giving you guys gameplay videos of that every single day. I'm going to continue doing that as I progress through the story. As I also know, I got a bunch of new equipment. We got a brand new blue Yeti microphone, as you guys can hear. So if I sound a little better, a little bit clearer, you guys know I was using the blue Snowball Ice. Now we upgraded to the Yeti. The normal Yeti. It's not the Yeti Nano or the Yeti X, but you got the normal Yeti, and I'm hyped because definitely that's going to give us a huge boost in quality, and hopefully I sound clear. As you guys can still see, I got new lighting, got a light on the side, got an LED light, and we also have the backlight. So, and you guys can't see, but behind me is my green screen. It's in the storage right now, but I've been using it for videos. I might use it on the podcast here and there, depending on what we're doing. But we got a green screen now. I'm very excited to be using that, and give you guys quality reviews, quality content. I told you guys at the end of last year that 2020, entering the new decade, I want this to be our year. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of nice growth on the channel in terms of subscribers and views, and I'm working my hardest to give you guys the best content, and part of that is upgrading our equipment, making sure we sound and look better in all aspects right here on the channel. So if you guys enjoy the new quality, the new setup, because this is the way we're going to be recording going forward, I'm probably going to put some more posters up on the wall just for video purposes. But if you guys are enjoying that, make sure to subscribe and slap a like on this video. As always, guys, make sure to follow me down in the subscription, in the comment section, or in the description. What am I saying? Subscription, comment. In the description box down below, you guys can find my social media. I didn't tweet too much during SmackDown tonight, but I did watch the whole show. So you guys already know. Make sure to follow me on social media if you guys want to interact with me in different ways. Also, just for scheduling purposes, this week and next week's going to be a huge week on the channel. I'm just going to go over a little bit of the overview of what I got planned for about the next week. So basically, this is what I got planned. Tomorrow, Saturday, depending when you guys are watching this podcast, tomorrow, Saturday, alright, Saturday, I have a My Hero Academia episode 77 review and reaction. I have My Hero Academia episode 78 spoilers preview. On Sunday, I have My Hero Academia manga chapter 257 review, which will be going live on the channel. We also have more Kakarot. Like I said, I'm going to keep giving you guys Kakarot videos every day, depending on what other videos I have planned for that day. That will decide, what kind of video we do, how many Kakarot videos I post. If I'm not planning on posting anything during that day, I might post 2 to 3 Kakarot videos. If I have like a Raw review or a SmackDown review or something else planned, another video planned. I'll probably post one Kakarot video for the day, and that's the way it's gonna go. Some Kakarot videos all throughout the week, and My Hero Academia. Then Monday, another big day on the channel. I plan to have MLK Day, so no school, so I'm gonna be trying to give you guys videos all day. I plan to have a Kakarot video out. I also plan to have a Dragon Ball Super manga chapter video out because the new Dragon Ball Super manga chapter does release in a couple days. Then Monday night, we have the Monday Night Raw review right here on the Legit Shoot podcast. As always, I didn't do a Monday Night Raw review this week. I just didn't really care for the show that much. There were some good aspects of Raw, but I just didn't really feel like doing a review this week. It was a busy week, but definitely next week, Royal Rumble week, the go home shows for Raw and SmackDown. I will definitely, without a doubt, have a Monday Night Raw review. Then throughout the week, more Kakarot videos, more of the normal stuff, and then I'm thinking either Wednesday or Thursday. I don't know when I'm gonna do it, but either Wednesday or Thursday, I'm thinking about doing a Royal Rumble preview and predictions show. Where we go over all the matches, the Royal Rumble match itself. I give you guys my predictions, who I think is going to win, how that's going to impact WrestleMania, and all that. So definitely look out for that. Then Thursday, normal stuff, more Kakarot. Friday, we're going to be doing our SmackDown Live review, as always, right here. And then Saturday, normal stuff, My Hero, anime, stuff like that. Sunday's going to be a huge day on the channel, alright? Sunday, if I post a Kakarot video, it'll probably be like Sunday morning, very early, because you guys know Sunday night, the 26th, is going to be a big day. It's going to be a big day because Sunday night, the Royal Rumble, I will be doing a live stream, a live reaction stream. I have not done a live reaction stream since Hell in a Cell, when we had Sasha versus Becky. So definitely we're going to do a live reaction stream for the Royal Rumble. I'm going to be live streaming the entire show, so you guys will get my reactions to all the matches. I don't do the pre-show, but all the matches. So that'll probably be a 3-4 hour stream, depending on how long the Rumble goes. Hopefully Sasha wins, which we'll talk about tonight on the podcast. And right after the Royal Rumble goes off the air, I will have, as always, a Royal Rumble live review right after the show goes off the air, right here on the Legit Shoot podcast. So make sure you guys are subscribed. You guys have notifications enabled, because you guys do not want to miss any videos this week. Alright, next week's going to be a wild week. Going to have tons of content here on the channel, and you guys do not want to miss. I hope you guys are ready. Hope you guys are, it's going to be awesome. That's all I'm going to say. It's going to be awesome. So make sure you guys are subscribed if you're not already. Alright, enough with the announcements, all that. Let's get into SmackDown Live tonight. Alright. And real quick before we get into the show, I want to give my condolences to Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and his family. You guys probably already know. Earlier this week, I believe it was Wednesday, Rocky Johnson, Dwayne's father, unfortunately passed away. They did a nice little tribute on SmackDown tonight. I'll give credit to WWE, man. A very nice tribute video. Rest in peace. Definitely one of the trailblazers, in my opinion, for this company, for many Black Americans. People who want to get into the world of sports entertainment and sports in general, man. Rocky Johnson will never be forgotten, and his legacy continues through his son, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. So just wanted to say that really quick. But getting to SmackDown Live tonight, I believe the show was in Knoxville, Tennessee. So basically the show started off, and I didn't know. I didn't look at WWE.com to see their SmackDown preview or anything like that. But the show starts off with the Big Red Monster, Kane. And anybody that's been watching me for any amount of time knows I am not a Kane fan. I don't like Kane at all. He's on the same level of Get Off My TV like the Big Show. I do not like Kane or the Big Show. So like you guys know, I do not like Kane. All right, he he's way past his prime. Remember when we had Kane versus Braun Strowman versus Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship at the Royal Rumble? I think it was 2 years ago, I believe. Remember how bad that was? That was the moment when I was like, all right, Kane needs to retire. You know, I know he's I believe, what, the mayor of Knoxville, but like WWE's always returning. We just saw Kane not too long ago when I believe he won the 24/7 championship from R-Truth. Like totally cringe, man. But Kane starts to show, you know, I didn't, make the face like, oh my gosh, like I was completely shocked. Because now that we're entering the Rumble season, we're entering WrestleMania season, you can expect this. This is the time when WWE loves to bring out their part-timers, loves to bring out the, you know, those that don't really matter in the big grand scheme of things when it comes to WWE. Alright? So don't be surprised if we see more Ric Flairs and Hulk Hogan's, as much as they're not needed and as much as they're not, honestly, they're not even wanted on WWE TV. Expect to see more of them as the weeks go by, as we get into Rumble and WrestleMania season. So Kane comes out, alright, and Michael Cole kept repeating on the commentary, and they showed a graphic of it. Kane, he does hold a pretty dominant Royal Rumble record. He has the record for most eliminations ever in a Royal Rumble match. Of all time, we're talking about like over the years. He's eliminated the most amount of competitors from the Royal Rumble match over the years, more than anybody else. And Roman Reigns, he holds records for most competitors eliminated in a single match, which is like, I believe, 15, something like that. All right, and then Kane comes out. He's getting a good amount of cheers since they're in Tennessee, they're in his area. He's the mayor, all that good stuff. So Kane comes out, and I wanted to see what he was gonna say, but then because the thing, I was like, why the hell is Kane out here? Unless he's declaring for the Rumble, which his promo was mostly about the Rumble. I also thought, Kane has history with The Fiend. Kane also has history with Daniel Bryan. Kane and Daniel Bryan, were one of the... Of course, people are calling me when I'm recording. Of course. But you guys know, Kane has history with The Fiend, and he also has history as being part of one of the most popular tag teams of the last decade in Team Hell No with Daniel Bryan. And it makes sense. Once I started thinking about it, I was like, Kane being here actually kind of makes sense. He has history with both these men. They're fighting over the Universal Championship. And I was like, okay, I can deal with it. I can, I was like, as much as I don't like Kane, I was like, let's do it. Let's see how they do this. And Kane's nowhere near where he was back in the day. The guy's cringe. The guy's cringe, but still, I didn't really mind it. So Kane came out, and he said he was gonna be in the Royal Rumble match. Wow, I'm so excited. I know there's one thing. They announced that there's gonna be 10 competitors. I believe it's supposed to be 10 from Raw, 10 from SmackDown, 10 from NXT. But what doesn't make sense to me is, we know there's going to be names like legends that make these special guest appearances in the Rumble. And one thing, as much as I don't like Kane or The Big Show, I expect both of them to be in the Rumble match. First of all, why did you have to have Kane come out and announce that he was going to be in the Rumble? What, does WWE not care about the element of surprise anymore? Like, what happened to the days where, you had an AJ Styles making his debut in the Royal Rumble and no one saw it coming? John Cena or Edge returning from injury to compete and win the Royal Rumble match. Like, come on. I miss that special element of surprise they always had for the Royal Rumble. Now, they have legends and superstars announcing they're going to be in the Royal Rumble like it's nothing. Everyone just comes out and say, "Oh, I'm gonna be in the Royal Rumble." No matter if they make a video on social media or YouTube interview or on the show itself, it's like there's no element of surprise. I miss that. You know how hyped it would have been. You know, like with John Morrison. I know John Morrison's not the the most popular guy in WWE, especially because he's been gone for 9 years, and there's a lot of new fans that don't know who he is, and WWE doesn't really know how to make big stars in this day of age. But how much better would it have been for John Morrison's debut to be set up for the Royal Rumble? He comes out with his music, everything. How better of a pop would have been in that baseball stadium to feel that? All right, like, do you really have to have John Morrison and Kane, come out and say they're gonna be in the Royal Rumble? It takes away the element of surprise. And also, I mentioned earlier how you're supposed to have 10 for Raw, 10 for SmackDown, 10 for NXT. These legends, right? These legends. There's rumors saying Edge could be in the Rumble, or John Cena could be in the Royal Rumble. There's big rumors saying that Cena is going to come into the Rumble and possibly eliminate Brock Lesnar or eliminate, or win the whole thing in general. Just because, why not? Because there's rumors saying they want to do Lesnar versus Cena at Mania, which I'm not really against, to be honest. But yeah, but really, do we really have to keep doing this? Like, WWE really takes away the element of surprise for nothing. There's really nothing that shocks you to in WWE because they take away the element of surprise for everything. For everything. I didn't really care about Kane's promo, but he went on for a while, talking about how he plans to destroy more lives and more superstars' dreams in the Rumble. So then Bray Wyatt appears, and you guys know Bray Wyatt and Kane have, a good amount of history. If you guys remember last week, Bray Wyatt, when he was doing his promo with Daniel Bryan, they did a flashback to back when Daniel Bryan and Daniel Bryan feuded with the Wyatt family back in 2014. They did the same thing here with Kane. Bray Wyatt or the Fiend. He's going after those who have did him wrong in the past, those who he's already faced, his past opponents that caused the most damage to him. And I like it. This is why I didn't mind Kane. If Kane was on this show for any other reason, like doing a segment with the New Day or Braun Strowman or Roman Reigns, God, forbid that, please. Forbid that. But if Kane was on this show for any other reason other than the segment we saw tonight, I would be crapping all over this. But it actually made sense. Kane was actually one of the first legends. The first legends that the Fiend attacked when he made his debut last summer. When he was attacking Mick Foley, Kurt Angle, and those boys. Sorry, I'm getting a text message. But, they did call back to the Wyatt family when Kane feuded with them all those years ago. The Fiend then appeared to attack Kane. So after the promo, and Bray Wyatt and Kane had a pretty good interaction. Bray Wyatt was pretty funny on the mic. They also showed like a little image of Ribbity Rabbit. He's recovering from dying for the 9th millionth time. But I like the interaction with Kane and Bray Wyatt. I enjoyed it. So then, one of the things that Kane is known for, and it makes sense since his character is the brother of The Undertaker, he's known for mind games. So then the music appears, the lights go off, the red lighting appears, all that. And we see the Fiend Bray Wyatt actually appear under the ring. He appears under the ring, he pops up, makes the hole in the ring, and Kane the whole time has his back turned, like he's facing the entranceway, thinking that Bray Wyatt is gonna come out through the entranceway. But Kane, being the big red monster, he's done the same thing in the past with his character. He looks behind him and he sees the Fiend Bray Wyatt, and he takes the mic. He's like, "What took you so long?" You know, like he knew all along that um, that that Wyatt was gonna pull this attack, and he was prepared. Cause out of nowhere, Daniel Bryan comes in flying with the flying knee. He starts doing the kicking Wyatt in the head, but then Wyatt, you know, quickly runs away through the ring. And as he has Daniel going after him, he comes back up with a couple of the Fiend's dreadlocks. You know, kind of similar to when the Fiend pulled out Daniel Bryan's hair, but the Fiend actually got away from Daniel Bryan before he could go bald. But basically, this was not a bad segment. After, you know, words, we see Kane and Daniel Bryan celebrating together, doing yes chants, all that. So for once, I didn't mind seeing Kane on my screen. I'm absolutely dumbfounded that I'm actually saying those words. I was okay with us seeing Kane tonight because it actually made sense. It furthered the storyline with Bryan and the Fiend, and I didn't mind it. I didn't mind it. It is what it is, really, when it comes to that regard. But afterwards, backstage, we see Kane and Daniel Bryan. They're going like, "I was the tag team champion." So, no, I was the tag team champion. No, I was the tag team champion. And basically, that was it. Afterwards, you know, Kane leaves, and then Daniel Bryan does a promo. And basically, Daniel Bryan, I love the passion he brings to his character. He really makes you believe what he's saying. So Daniel Bryan basically said he's tired of these games with the Fiend, and basically how the Fiend failed to change him. But at the Rumble, he plans to change the Fiend while also taking the Universal Championship from him. And then he challenges Bray Wyatt to a strap match. All right, yes, a strap match. Alright, so basically, if you guys don't know what a strap match is, Brian did explain it. Basically, a strap match is where the competitors are placed on opposite sides of the ring with a restraint, so they keep them in close physical proximity. So basically, we don't see a lot of strap matches in WWE these days. We don't. You know, so basically the way it would be, you have your normal ring. Imagine Wyatt on one side, Brian on the other, and then they're basically tied to a strap, which keeps them together, you know. And anything that the strap is tied to can be used as a weapon. And basically that's it. You know, it's a pretty simple match concept. It's just something we don't use in WWE these days. I found it interesting that they're using a strap match. You know, to me, they didn't really need a stipulation for it, but it tells me that maybe WWE has something planned if they're going to use a strap match. And I think this may more have something to do with Daniel Bryan, since we clearly know Daniel Bryan does have some creative control over his character. But I find it very interesting that this is the direction that they're going. You know, definitely if you guys don't know what a strap match is, just go search up on YouTube. Like, you could definitely find a couple, you know, examples of strap matches on there. Pretty simple for you guys. Not shouldn't be a problem. Honestly, the interaction here with Bryan, the Fiend, and Kane, it wasn't all that bad. Kane being on TV actually makes sense, so I'll give them a pass tonight. And yeah, I'm not that mad about it. Okay, getting into our first match of the night, we had the New Day's Biggie Laxton with Kofi at ringside. I noticed Kofi fully dyed his hair a blonde. No more black and blonde tips. His hair is fully blonde. I don't know if this was Kofi trying to make himself look like the Black Charlotte or the Black Alexa Bliss, or, you know, the Black Lacey Evans. I don't know what Kofi was getting at here, you know, but it looks kind of cool on him. You know, maybe Kofi trying to tell Vince, hey, look at me, I got the blonde hair. Give me another run at the Universal or WWE Championship. Who knows? You know, I mean, you guys know I'm just having a little bit of fun. But we had, you know, John Morrison. This was his first match back in WWE. We haven't seen John Morrison compete in a WWE ring in about a decade. Last match was 2011. Morrison looks in amazing shape. You know, He looks absolutely toned, ripped to shreds. Like Morrison looks like an absolute beast. He looks like an absolute beast. And they actually gave him the slow motion with his entrance tonight. It didn't look as good as it looked in the past. Maybe it's because of the stage, the angle that they were shooting at. But I remember, if you look at Morrison's entrance on YouTube, you can easily find it from back in the day. I think the entrance looked better back in the day than it looks now. That's just my personal opinion. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think of John Morrison's entrance. How does it look? But I forgot. I watched a little bit of John Morrison from Lucha Underground back when it was on the air a couple years back. But this was a heavy hitting match. I forgot how good Morrison was in the ring, and we know Biggie. In my opinion, Biggie's one of the most underrated competitors in the entire company. The fact that Biggie hasn't had a big run, a big singles run yet, astonishes me. Like, I find it astonishing that we haven't had a Biggie Lacing run yet here in WWE. But this was a good match. Miz and Kofi did play a big role from ringside, because Morrison did need some distractions, and definitely if they're doing a very slow heel turn for the Miz. Miz is still pondering through the crowd. Morrison not as much. I don't mind it. Morrison's more of a tweener, but Miz, he's still acting like a babyface. When the crowd was booing Morrison, Miz on the outside was like, "What? Why are you guys booing him? Look at what he's doing." So that night, they're turning Miz heel. And I expect that heel turn to fully take place in the next couple of weeks. Because I think eventually, not at the Rumble, probably I think our next pay-per-view is Elimination Chamber. Or it's Super Showdown, I'm not sure. But at the next pay-per-view, probably Elimination Chamber, I expect us to get Miz and Morrison versus the New Day in the Smackdown Tag Team Championship match. It's great to see Morrison. His athletic ability is amazing. I love his moveset. It's so good to see him back in the WWE ring. There was a point where Miz was on the apron trying to just talk to the referee. Kofi comes around, takes him off the apron. Then he throws Miz into steel steps. Then Morrison hits a beautiful rolling top rope move on to take out Kofi. Then he goes back into the ring, hits Biggie with a kick. Then he does the Starship Pain, but still looks as beautiful as it looked back in 2011. The only problem I have with John Morrison's finishing move is it doesn't look as impactful when he lands on his opponent. I can kind of understand that because you have to put all your focus in, making the rotation, making the move look good. But still, that's just in my opinion. I feel like Morrison could land just a little more impact on Biggie. Biggie's a big dude, and so he can definitely take it. But Morrison looked great in his return. But I feel like they already dropped the ball with Morrison, man. I feel like his return is already kind of turning a little bit stale. It's only gonna be a couple more weeks. I'm telling you guys, wait, in a couple more weeks, Morrison's not gonna feel special on WWE. He's just gonna feel another guy on a roster full of talent. That's what I think. But I think eventually down the line, they're definitely setting us up. Now you had the Miz defeat Kofi last week, and now this week you have Morrison defeat Big E. Maybe next week we get Kofi versus Morrison and Big E versus Miz. I don't know, but they're definitely setting up a tag team championship opportunity for the Miz and Morrison down the line, which I really don't mind. We don't really have too many teams, and I want them to save Heavy Machinery probably for WrestleMania. So why not? Backstage, we had Lacey Evans attack Sasha Banks. This got me mad a little bit because you guys know I love Sasha. Remember last week we were supposed to get Sasha Banks versus Lacey Evans in a singles match that people have been waiting for weeks because of the tension between Lacey Evans, Sasha Banks, and Bayley. And I've been saying this for about a month. The feud up to this point has more felt like Lacey Evans versus Sasha Banks rather than Lacey Evans going up against Bayley for the SmackDown Women's Championship. You know, but the last couple of weeks, they have shifted the focus a little more on Lacey versus Bayley instead of Lacey versus Sasha, which I don't mind. Because one thing is, Lacey doesn't deserve to be in a ring with the GOAT Sasha Banks. She doesn't. Lacey Evans as a babyface is freaking cringe. I don't understand how people can actually like her on the mic, or just as a babyface in general. I just find her just cringe. But what happens is basically Lacey attacks Sasha. Sasha wasn't there last week. Sasha's been working on, I guess, the music video and her rap album. Which if it actually is gonna come out soon, like I've been hearing, I can't wait to cop that. You guys know, maybe I'll get a Sasha Banks rap poster to put on my Raw next to my autograph poster I have of her up there. But basically, yeah, it looked like she attacked Sasha. Put her in a crate, and then backstage, Sasha's in the trainer's room, right? And basically Bayley's saying all this stuff like, "Oh, next time I see Lacey, if I see her in the hallways, I see her anywhere, I'm gonna kick her ass. I'm gonna break every bone in her body. I'm gonna break her leg just like she hurt you. Da 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 this, da 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 da." Bayley's kind of all talk and no bite. So then, one of those goon, I hate these goon-like producer guys, man. These bald-ass yes man that Vince has. Because the guy looks like a yes man. I know there's no more authority figures, thank God for that. There's no more Kurt Angles, there's no more Corbins and Triple H's and Stephanie's, and, authority and all that. I understand that, but still. They still have to give us the cringe of having one of those bald meatheads act like he has some kind of power on the show when he absolutely has none. So he goes up to Sasha Banks and he says, "Oh, you're gonna have to compete tonight. You're gonna have to compete tonight because we've been advertising this match for 2 weeks and you haven't fulfilled your commitment. This is the match that was supposed to happen last week and you weren't here. And now this week, no matter if you're injured or not, you're gonna compete against Lacey. All right." And Sasha's like, "No, I can't." And so then basically the guy goes up to Bayley and Bayley's like, "If Sasha can't compete, then you can. All right, you're gonna take her place." And now's the match we get, which we'll talk about in just a second. But before we had Sasha Banks versus Lacey, or not Sasha Banks, Bayley versus Lacey Evans, we had the Usos versus the Revival. Remember, we saw the Usos make their return to SmackDown Live 2 weeks ago when they were, they came to save their buddy Roman and their buddy Roman from Corbin, Ziggler, and Rude. And basically, this is a match we've seen how many times? The Usos and the Revival were legit just feuding on Raw back before the Usos left the company with the legal trouble they were having. I don't know. I guess this match was more just to establish the Usos back as a dominant tag team in the tag team division, because last week, their match with Corbin and Ziggler got disqualified because of the interference. But the Usos, they still have the Revival's number. They're still as dominant. They're still, in my opinion, one of the best tag teams in the world. They're right up there for me with Undisputed Era when it comes to my favorite tag teams in WWE in general. The Usos look great here. They dominated, But to me, this wasn't really about the Usos. Even though if I'm the Usos and I've been out for, half a year with legal trouble and not wrestling, I would like to come back and maybe have a fresh matchup. Right? Put me against maybe like a Cesaro and Shinsuke. Something like that. Put me up against one of your better heel talents, like Sami Zayn teaming up with one of his cronies. Like, why don't you give me that? We've seen the Usos in the Revival how many times? Yes, they're two of the best tag teams in the entire company. But even, two teams can't have that much. You guys know what I mean? They can't have that much where they can do anything in the ring. We've seen this match how many times? This match just didn't really make me care at all tonight. Alright? And also on the Revival side, it's like every week we're talking about the Revival. I have no idea what's going on with them. They've been on a losing streak for weeks now, ever since they lost the tag team titles to Kofi and Big E right before TLC. They've been on a huge losing streak. It's like they can't win a match. All right, they lost to the Usos tonight, and the Usos pretty much dominated the entire match. You know, they hit the Uso super kick and then the Uso splash for the dub. Um, but here I'm trying to remember what I was saying. But yes, oh yes, the Revival have been buried for months, because you know this is a way of the Usos getting shoved out the door when their contracts expire, just because you know Vince sees it as them not wanting to be team players and take one for the team and you know stick with WWE like I would. Like why would I? And I don't care how much they're paying me. My happiness comes first. That's one thing I always try to preach. Yes, you can be a doctor and make out here millions and millions of dollars, but at the end of the day, if you come home miserable, is that money in your bank account? Is that money in your wallet? Is that money in your savings really worth it? Really? Is it really worth that money just, you know, to feel miserable and feel depressed at the end of the day? No one should have to do that. Everyone has the right to be happy. You know what I mean? And the Revival, man, that's what they get for not signing with WWE. You know WWE's going to do everything in its power to shove these boys outside the door when their contracts are out. Unless they resign. You know, they're going to keep losing. They're going to keep losing the worst and worst tag teams. Alright? I wouldn't be surprised if they lose to a team of double Shorty G's before they leave WWE for AEW. But after the match, you know, the Revival backstage did an interview, and basically they flat out went out and said their frustrations with WWE. They said WWE doesn't value us the way they should, and just like they don't value tag team wrestling. What have I been saying now for nearly 2 years? The biggest problem with WWE's main roster is not the talent that they have. They have more than enough talent. They arguably don't need any more talent, if you ask me. Alright? Their problem is they do not know how to build new stars. It's that simple. You build new stars, you will not be having this problem. At all. At all. You know, the Revival should be one of the best tag teams of all time on your main roster. But no one takes them seriously. Like, I absolutely hate it. I hate it. The Revival are way too good. So basically, the Revival, the whole point of their promo, they said is they're going to make a change. I know there's been a lot of rumors going on about the Revival. I really don't know how many of those are actually true. We're just going to have to wait and see. Alright, next up, we had Bayley versus Lacey Evans. We already went over how this was set up because Lacey attacked Sasha Banks backstage earlier in the show. Yes, some babyface Lacey Evans is. Yeah, you have your babyface attacking the heel backstage before the show. Nice. So basically, Bayley came out and, you know, she was shocked. She was barely paying attention to anything because she had basically no real time to prepare for her match. She just had to go out there. Like, good luck there, champ. So then Lacey Evans comes out, and I'm telling you, man, Lacey Evans as a babyface is cringe, man. I just can't stand Lacey Evans as a babyface. She's not good. She's not good. Alright? Anyway, yeah, so Bayley comes out, and then Lacey comes out. Like I said, Lacey's a bad babyface. She also went ringside, and I was like, Lacey, aren't you married? Because she gave her hand to some random fan and had to give a quick little smooch to the hand. I was like, okay. And Lacey seemed like she was enjoying it, so I was like, But then this was a back and forth match. They actually got a pretty good amount of time for a TV show match. I think it was nearly 15 minutes. Not 15 minutes exactly, but still. And then basically during the match, Bayley held most of the momentum. She dominated most of the match until Lacey came back with her comeback. She tried to do a step up moonsault. Then Bayley reversed that, and then out of nowhere, Lacey catches Bayley with the woman's right to take the huge win and a non-title victory. Couple of things here. one thing I want to say is one of the things I can't stand about WWE is they give away their matches on free TV like it's nothing. Wasn't just a couple weeks ago I sat here and bitched and moaned? Like, I legit went off about how they're giving us Braun Strowman and Shinsuke Nakamura before we even have the championship match. You had Strowman pin Nakamura. You had Strowman pin Nakamura in a tag team match, right? Then 2 weeks later, you had Shinsuke lose to Strowman clean in a non-title singles match, which, you know, in the way WWE does, if you pin a champion in a non-title match, that basically guarantees you a title shot down the line. But WWE gives us this non-title match between Strowman and Nakamura last week, and then I'm thinking, alright, if you're giving us this match now, when we actually have the match at the pay-per-view, or whenever you choose to actually have it, we're not going to care as much, because you basically give us that match for free on WWE TV. Because what? In the match we saw with Strowman and Nakamura last week, you guys cannot tell me there's something in that match that you're going to see differently. What, you're going to see Strowman do an RKO or do his own version of the Sasha? Is that what's going to make the match more special? And Shinsuke these days, as much as I loved Shinsuke Nakamura in NXT, the guy just goes through the motions on the main roster. He hasn't defended that championship once. Hasn't defended that championship once. And the guy's just like, okay, I'm just gonna keep holding it. It's like the IC you gave Shinsuke Nakamura a fancy new IC championship, and you still haven't done anything with it. Great job there, WWE. Great job. But they're doing the same thing here with Lacey Evans. Yeah, but after this, you gave us, I understand this. It seems like WWE keeps pushing back Sasha Banks and Lacey Evans. I do not know why. I don't know why. For some reason, the fans want to be cheering for Lacey Evans, which is cringe if you ask me. Like, don't get me started on that. But for some reason, Lacey Evans has been getting cheered a lot lately. Alright? And I don't know where they're going with this. I'm praying that they're not thinking about giving Lacey the SmackDown Women's Championship at the Rumble. I pray that's not what they're planning. Because anybody with any sense, with any common sense would know that the way WWE should go, the direction they should be going, is Sasha Banks versus Bayley, main event WrestleMania 36. Easily. No doubt in any of our minds. Anybody smart enough to know WWE knows this is the direction they should be going. Because it's the best possible match you can give from the women's side. Now, damn it, it's the best possible match you can give from any two superstars on SmackDown's current roster. Men and female. And that's facts. There's no other match with the current roster of SmackDown superstars that's going to be a better match on the stage of WrestleMania. Sasha Banks and Bayley, that has match of the year potential if given the time and the right storyline. We've been waiting for it for years. I'm not going to sit back and take Lacey fucking Evans as our SmackDown Women's Champion going to WrestleMania. Why? Because Vince wants another blonde? Because Vince wants another blonde holding his championships going into WrestleMania. So what you're going to do, what you did with Charlotte last year? A couple months before the week, not even, a couple weeks before WrestleMania, you have Charlotte. Take the title from Asuka. Everybody knows that the best match that WWE can put on for their women's division at WrestleMania, other than Becky versus Shayna or Becky versus Ronda, is Sasha versus Bayley. Everybody knows this. So why go from that? I don't want to see a triple threat. I don't want to see Lacey versus Bayley or Lacey versus Sasha. As good as Lacey versus Sasha's interactions have been, no, it is Sasha's time. And give us what we all want. Sasha Banks Bailey WrestleMania. But there's a little bit of hope. There's a little bit of hope out of all this. I'll let you guys know what it is. Bailey versus Lacey Evans, they had an okay match, right? This is a match you're building towards the Royal Rumble. So now this basically confirms. It's probably, we're just going to either over the weekend or next week's show, it's going to be confirmed. Bailey versus Lacey Evans Smackdown Women's Championship at Mania, or at the Rumble. Sasha's probably not going to be involved in that match because she's going to be focused at the Royal Rumble. Because Sasha is either Shayna, Ronda, or Sasha. One of those three is winning the Rumble. Alright, hopefully it's Sasha. Sasha should be the fan favorite in my opinion. But this is what I see happening. There's a couple situations that could happen here. You had Lacey Evans pin Bailey clean. One, when we see Lacey Evans versus Bailey at the Rumble, I'm not going to care as much because you gave us the match on free TV tonight. You gave us the match on Fox. You gave us the match on SmackDown tonight. And honestly, I know Bailey can kick it off a notch, kick it up a notch. I don't think Lacey Evans has that in her. Lacey has some decent moves in the ring, but I don't see Lacey Evans, being able to, go an extra level with a Sasha Banks or a Bailey. I could be wrong. I know Bailey can bring her up to another level, but I don't know about Lacey Evans. I don't know if anything we saw tonight with Bailey and Lacey Evans is something we wouldn't see in a championship match at the Rumble. And that's just me being honest. You guys know I'm honest here on this podcast about everything. But if we are getting Bailey versus Lacey Evans at the Rumble, Lacey Evans pinning Bailey tonight could be a good thing. This could give a win for Lacey Evans, right? Lacey Evans gets the victory, and then at the Rumble, Bailey gets her win back. Because one thing I really do hate, is when our champions on WWE TV look weak. I always say this, your champions should not be losing in any circumstance, because it makes them and the championship look weaker. They are the best. The reason why they're the champion is because they're supposed to be the best in your division at that point of time. Like, you're telling me there's no other way you could have had Bailey or have Lacey become number one contender? You had to have Lacey pin Bailey? It could be a good thing, like I said, because this could mean that Bailey will get her win back at the Rumble. Potentially. But either way, also, we gotta remember, we have the Elimination Chamber coming up. The Elimination Chamber is gonna come up. The way I've been thinking about it, Brock Lesnar is not going to defend the WWE Championship at the Chamber. At least not inside the Chamber. He's not going to do this. They're not going to do that with Lesnar. Why would Lesnar do that? Alright. They could do that with The Fiend, but I don't know if they will. They probably won't. To be honest. I can definitely see the SmackDown Women's Championship being put in the Elimination Chamber. And that could potentially set up, either, because I think it's one of two things. It's either going to be Sasha versus Lacey at Mania, which I hope not, or it's going to be Sasha versus Bailey at Mania, which is what we all hope, right? The hope would be for Sasha to win the Rumble, and the Elimination Chamber would be a huge step in determining if Sasha would face Lacey or Sasha would face Bailey, because clearly, last week you didn't have Sasha on the show. You had the excuse saying she was filming her rap album. And now this week, Sasha was in her ring gear. She was all set to go. And, you had her fake the leg injury. So, they're clearly holding off on Sasha versus Lacey for a bigger stage. Alright. But, I don't know. I really don't know. It's a confusing situation. As much as I don't like Lacey, man, I'm hoping with Lacey's win means that Bailey will win at the Rumble. Sasha wins the Rumble, and that will help set up Sasha versus Bailey at Mania. That's your best chance. Alright? I don't care if Lacey's a blonde. Please. She's not good. Turn Lacey back into a heel, please. I'd much rather have Lacey as a heel than a babyface. That's just me being personally. That's just me being honest. But that's my thoughts on that. Lacey beats Bayley. We'll see where this leads. This basically confirms that we're gonna get Lacey versus Bayley at the Rumble. All right. So Braun Strowman was backstage. He had a backstage interview. Actually, before this, we had Shorty G. You guys remember 2 weeks ago, Sheamus made his in-ring return to WWE. You know, when he hit Shorty G with the bro kick. So now, this week, Shorty G was doing a interview, and Sheamus attacked him. Well, Sheamus didn't attack him. Sheamus did interrupt the interview to make fun of Shorty G. No big surprise there. And basically, this led to Shorty G attacking Sheamus. So clearly, we're gonna get a Sheamus, Shorty G match down the line. Won't be surprised if at the Rumble we see Sheamus eliminate Chad Gable from the Royal Rumble match itself. I can definitely see that happening. We'll wait and see that. But I'll say this: Sheamus looks fantastic. Like, I don't know. I said this a couple weeks ago, but man, Sheamus was wearing a very skinny t-shirt, and like, oh my gosh, Sheamus. I don't know how much weight he lost while he's gone, but I'm telling you, Sheamus has never looked this good. He's never looked this good. He looks absolutely fantastic. Moving on, backstage, Braun Strowman does an interview. Strowman talked about how he beat, or how he was entering the Royal Rumble match, but no one should be surprised at that. We'll see. It'll be interesting to see who eliminates Strowman, because you already know Strowman's a big man. They always have some big spot planned, because it's always tough to eliminate somebody as big as Strowman from the Rumble. Strowman goes on to talk about how he defeated Nakamura twice in the last month, and how he wants an Intercontinental Championship match from Shinsuke Nakamura now, and how he wants that opportunity next week. So then Elias comes out. Elias was going on talking about how he needs the WWE Universe in his corner, and he started playing his song, but then he got interrupted by Sami Zayn, Nakamura, and Cesaro. And then Sami Zayn goes off talking about how he's the only one that will dictate who gets championship matches around here. Classic Sami Zayn. Then Sami Zayn basically goes after Elias. Elias was gonna play a song talking about how Shinsuke sucks, but then Sami Zayn tells Elias to shut up, and then he sends Cesaro after Elias. So Elias is still trying to take out his guitar stuff when he's getting attacked by Cesaro. So Cesaro takes advantage. It looks like it's gonna be a 3-on-1 beatdown, but then Strowman comes out to even the odds, sending Nakamura, Zayn, and Cesaro running. So don't be surprised. I'm willing to bet next week. You know, since we're probably gonna get Strowman and Nakamura at the Rumble for the IC Championship, I'm willing to bet next week we're gonna get probably Elias and Strowman in a tag team match against Cesaro and Nakamura. Cause why wouldn't that? Cause if Teddy Long was here, he'd say, "Oh, you guys want a brawl? Let's have a tag team match." All right. Like I said, I don't really care. Strowman's gonna win the IC Championship. It's inevitable at this point. We're just waiting for it to happen. So that's what I gotta say about that. I just don't care about Nakamura anymore. I just don't. WWE has not done him good with the IC Championship, and I don't expect it to be any better with Strowman. But Strowman's gonna win that title, and we all know this. Moving on, we had Sonya Deville versus Alexa Bliss. First thing I'll say about this. First of all, Nikki Cross looks ridiculous. Ridiculous. They changed Nikki Cross's outfit. Like, she dresses way more closer to Alexa Bliss, which I don't understand why. I feel like that was a terrible idea on WWE's part. But backstage, or not backstage, before that I was gonna say, how many weeks in a row now have we seen some combination of Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose going up against, Alexa Bliss or Nikki Cross? I feel like this is like the fifth or sixth time in the last 2 months since Bliss's return that we've seen some combination of those four women in a match. That doesn't show you how weak the women's division is? We talk about how weak Raw's women's division is, but really? Are you kidding me right now? Like, do we really have to see this every single week? Either it's Alexa Bliss versus Mandy Rose, or it's Alexa Bliss versus Sonya, or it's Sonya versus Mandy, or Mandy versus Nikki. Like, come on, man. Have some freaking creativity. Like, I cannot wait for us to get, a Bianca Belair or Sonya Deville. I mean, not Sonya Deville, a Bianca Belair, Shayna Baszler, possibly maybe a Candice LeRae or a Toni Storm to finally come up. Because, damn, do these women's division need some new talent. It's ridiculous. But, moving on. Backstage, Sonya was talking about how this is going to be their Fire and Desire's year, and how she actually wants Otis at ringside, And I'm loving this. I'm telling you, this is one of the best storylines in the entire company right now. Otis and Mandy, every week I get excited to see where they're going. And like I said, I think they're dating in real life. I really do think that, but I could be wrong. But Sonya invites Mandy to invite Otis and Tucker out to ringside for the match, which they do. And during the match itself, I didn't care for the match. The match only went on for like 2-3 minutes. Basically, Mandy fell off the turnbuckle right into Otis's arms, and Otis, the faces he was making, he was like, yeah, now that you're with me, I'm not letting you go. Mandy was smiling at Otis, and the crowd was getting into it. I love this story, man. This is how you build a romantic story on WWE TV. Something creative, something fun, something we can all get behind. Unlike that trash with Lana and Rusev and Bobby Lashley and Liv Morgan on Raw. Oh man. But unfortunately, this good moment between Otis and Mandy got messed up, because from behind, Bliss was able to roll up Sonya Deville for the 1, 2, 3. Not surprised here. We'll probably get the match again next week, and maybe Mandy and Sonya will get their payback. Who knows? But after the match, Otis made a very sad face to show how he wished that hadn't happened. But still, I like the story. I wish that Sonya and Bliss could get a little more time in the ring. I really like Sonya's intensity. You guys know I'm a big fan of Sonya Deville. But still, I feel like WWE can do better. WWE can do better. The women need more time. Like the Lacey Bailey match got a lot of time, but this match only getting 2 minutes. Come on, man. Even though this is a smaller feud, the story between Otis and Mandy is the big thing here, but still, Alexa and Nikki have been going at it with Fire and Desire for weeks now. You can't give me like 10 minutes. Like, come on, 2-3 minutes each week is not gonna cut it. I feel like you can give us 10 minutes. Like, come on. But to end the show tonight, we had Roman Reigns versus Robert Roode. They actually put a stipulation on. They put 2 stipulations on this match. One was the tables match stipulation, and the second stipulation was whoever won this match would decide the stipulation for the match that Reigns and Corbin would have at the Rumble. So if Roman won, he would get to choose stipulation. If Corbin won, he would choose the stipulation. I didn't watch the match. I'll be honest with you. I hate these main events with Roman Reigns going up against Roode, Ziggler, and Corbin. I absolutely hate them. The match wasn't bad based on what I saw on social media. I just didn't care. I only looked back to the last 3 minutes when the Usos and Ziggler and Corbin get involved. So near the end of this match, Reigns is about to put Rude through the table. Then Ziggler and Corbin get involved. Ziggler hits Reigns with the super kick, and they were about to send Roman right through the announce table to end the match. But just at that point, the Usos come out of nowhere, and the Usos hit Ziggler with a super kick. Then they hit Corbin with a super kick, and then what they do here is they put Corbin on the announce table, and they do the Uso splash from the barricade, the top of the barricade, onto on the Corbin through the announce table, which actually looked pretty cool. Then afterwards, Roman Reigns spears Rude to a table in the ring to win the match. Alright, afterwards, to end the show, Roman announces that he wants to fight Corbin in a Falls Count Anywhere match, and that's how the show went off the air. Which, you know, I'm not excited at all because I don't care about this feud with Reigns and Corbin anymore. Like, I just don't care. What I'm worried about is the Roman Reigns agenda. And I mentioned this last week, how 2020 will be the return of the Reigns agenda. I think right now it's safe to say the two favorites to win the Royal Rumble are Roman Reigns and John Cena, which I know a lot of people are going to have a problem with. And trust me, I have a problem with it as well. Because what I think they're going to do, if Cena, I think they're going to do one of two things. Either Cena's going to win the Rumble, or option two is Cena's going to be in the Rumble. He's going to eliminate Lesnar, alright? And then Reigns will probably eliminate Cena or somebody else to win the Rumble itself. What I'm worried about is I expect Reigns to win his Falls Count Anywhere match. You know, it makes sense because Reigns and Corbin have been battling all across the arena for weeks now. So it makes sense that they would end this feud in a Falls Count Anywhere match. But Reigns is going to win the match. We already know this. Corbin won at TLC just to continue the feud. Reigns is going to win at the Rumble, get his win back and end the feud. And then in the Rumble itself, Reigns is going to eliminate Corbin just to put a cherry on top of that. And then Reigns is going to win the Rumble unless Cena does. Like, if that doesn't tell me, if that doesn't show you the Roman agenda in full force, I don't know what to tell you. Reigns winning a grueling Falls Count Anywhere match, and then going on to win the Rumble later on in the night. If they're not trying to make Roman Reigns back into Superman, if you're telling me that the Roman Reigns agenda is not back in full force in 2020, then you are delusional. You are straight out delusional. But we'll have to wait and see. But with that, guys, that's going to be the end of the podcast here tonight. I want to thank you guys for joining me here, right here on the Legit Shoot, for your Smackdown Live review for January 17, 2020. Thank you guys for the love and support. As always, guys, it's going to be a big week, Royal Rumble week. Got anime content, got gaming content. And for my wrestling fans, Monday, we got the Raw review. Wednesday or Thursday, depending on how busy I am, we're going to have the Royal Rumble preview and prediction show. Friday, of course, Royal Rumble Go Home show for SmackDown. And then Sunday, we're going to have the live stream, live reaction stream, and we're also going to have the review right after. So make sure you guys are here for that. Thank you guys for all the love and support as always. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, enable notifications by clicking the button next to my name, Fitzmonk TV, so you guys are notified every time I post a new video. Make sure to follow me down in the description down below on my social media page, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. You guys know the deal there. I'm going to get out of here. Thank you guys for everything. Have a great night, guys. Peace.